Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to be discussing the Ohio State loss versus Michigan. Yes, that's correct. I said a loss. Ohio State was defeated 30-24. It was a very gut-wrenching loss. It came down to the last minute. Ohio State had a chance in the end, but I've been saying it all year long. This game, and the whole season kind of comes down to how Kyle McCord performs, and he did not come up clutch in the end. What I'm going to do as an Ohio State fan is I'm going to kind of take you through my emotions. I've had a few minutes now to kind of calm down because my emotions were very high. I was hot, I was pissed, but I've had a couple moments to calm down and just give you my straightforward kind of reaction to how I think this game went. Was there things that could have helped Ohio State? Was there things that maybe Ohio State did that could have helped Michigan that was missed? Maybe the referees, we're going to get into them in a little bit. But we're going to break the whole game down from my point of view of kind of how I think the game went. So without further ado, as always, if you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure you drop a like. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I want to be straightforward with you all. There's going to be moments in this video where I'm going to say if this happens, if that happens. I'm going to say if a lot. So bear with me and fuck off if you don't like it. This game was like the ultimate classic. It was said multiple times by Gus Johnson. I agree. This was like an ultimate classic game of giant versus giant just going head to head. Coming into this game, Ohio State was number 2 overall defense. Coming into the game, Michigan was the number 1 overall defense. Both offenses were pretty good, but we knew defenses were going to be what kind of made the game today. In this game, defenses were not there the whole time. They showed up in moments. Michigan showed up in the third quarter, and then especially at the end of the third quarter, and then especially there on the last drive. But there was quite a bit of offense in this game. First off, before people think I'm just a salty Ohio State fan, I want to give credit where credit is due. Michigan played a good game. They made a lot of great plays. They deserve this win. Coming into this game, we thought that Rowan Wilson, their wide receiver, was going to be the one that we need to watch out for when it comes to the pass game. We were wrong. This boy right here, Loveland, he was picking us apart. And it's funny that I say picking us apart when he only has 5 catches, but those 5 catches came up huge. They were in moments where it was like, you just didn't expect it, and he just kind of leaked off the side of the offensive line, was right there, a little 5-yard catch, and nothing big 20-30 yard pass, but it was like a little 4 or 5 yard pass, and he just took it and ran 20 yards himself. Guys like Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, the past few years, they've been going for 200 yards, 150 yards the past couple years. This game, Blake Corum, we held him to 88 yards. That's very good. We did what I think our defense did what it needed to do in this game. But like I said a minute ago, credit to the Michigan players. They did a credible job. They put on a performance like no other. Now to get to the Ohio State people. What the fuck happened? The only players or player that I can look at that I can excuse from this punishment that I'm about to enforce on them is probably Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is one. Julian Fleming, he showed up in a big way in this game. I give him an excuse from the punishment. Emeka Egbuka, he got some catches and he got his touchdown, so he's excused from punishment. Trevor Henderson put in work, he's excused from punishment. And I mean, I don't really know if it counts, seeing how they didn't really have to do much. Whoever the safety was, Proctor, I think Proctor and also Hancock, whichever one had to be the one lingering back to prevent big plays, you get excused, I guess, because you just kind of did what you were supposed to do. Stay back there and prevent deep throws, deep runs. Everybody else, get the fucking timeout. Let's kind of go one by one with the things that went right, and then we'll go one by one with all the things that went wrong. Things that went good, like I said, Trevor Henderson, he ran the ball. That third quarter, I think we were down like 10-17. We imposed our fucking will. We got the one throw to Marvin Harrison Jr. We went down the field, and then we had just a shit ton of runs. I mean, just run. Right here, you can see the drive. We had the throw to Marvin Harrison Jr. for 14 yards. Then we had a run. Then we had another pass to Emeka Egbuka. We got to the 46-yard line, and then from there, run. Everybody online was basically saying that was the moment where it was like, Michigan, they love to be the bullies. They love to just impose their will, beat up people. In that moment, we were beating them up and we were running the ball down their fucking throat. Now let's get down to the end of the game. This last drive, Michigan had the ball. Somehow, some way, Jim Knowles called up a better game plan, or I think Michigan in their way just kind of sold out. They were just trying to settle for the field goal. Our defense could not get a stop, and I mean, we could not stop them for the life of us. For some reason, Michigan couldn't get another first down, even though they were just hammering us the entire time. They got 4th down. They tried to hard snap us. We didn't bite. They took their 3 points and they went to 24-30. In my mind, with the way how they were just going for it on 4th down all game long, I thought they were just going to go for it and just secure the win right there. But in a way, it kind of works out, because if you think about it now, in hindsight, Ohio State, when they had the turnover late in the game that we'll get into in a minute, they were in field goal range. So they had a chance to go win the game if Michigan didn't, make the stupid mistake and try to go for it and don't get it. Now this drive, the last drive, was so So weird. And it's because the way the drive was working, I seriously thought Ohio State had a legit shot to go win this thing, and Kyle McCord was going to be an Ohio State legend in this moment. We start the ball at the 19-yard line. First throw, incomplete. It was a pass to Cade Stover. Luckily, he dropped it, because if he was hung on to that ball, we would have been wasting like 20 seconds off the clock. Not needed, wasted time. So we get to 2nd and 10. Big throw. And Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt were even saying on the telecast, why are they not throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr.? He is the best player in the country. He is your best player on the team. Throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm guessing Kyle McCord heard that, because he said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm throwing it up, and he got it straight to Marvin Harrison Jr. We got the whole way down the 41-yard line. He didn't get out of bounds, so they ended up resetting the chains. They come down the field. Then the throw to Julian Fleming. Great throw, great catch. He got 2 steps. He fumbles the ball, and Mekabuka picks it up. Michigan fans are all over social media wondering and screaming and saying, that was not a catch. That was not a, that should have just been incomplete pass. You should have been all the way back at the 40-yard line. Because here's the thing with that play. If that would have been stayed as a catch and it would have been fumbled and Mekabuka didn't get on top of the ball and Michigan got on top of the ball, Michigan fans would have been screaming their heads off saying, that's a fumble. But instead, now they're all screaming, that's not a catch. That's why I always say in NFL, in college football, in all sports, call it straight up down the line, fair as can be. I don't care about the moment of the game or what quarter or what the situation is. If it's a foul, or like a penalty, or if it is a catch or not a catch, whatever the situation may be, call it the way it is. When the refs went to look at that catch, I don't care if it's the first quarter or the fourth quarter. You look at that replay. If you think it's a catch and a fumble, call it a catch and a fumble. If you don't think it is, call it that. But don't take it into the situation of, well, if we do this, then this team's going to get it. Oh, but wait, they fouled in their own fumble, so we'll just leave it there. But they get the catch. They call it a fumble. Mekabuka jumps to the ball. We get that. Next play. I don't even want to talk about it. It looked like it was going to be like a streak from Harrison, a streak from Fleming, and then a Mekabuka was kind of doing like an in-breaking route. And it was like, he had the route. The safety was a little bit over. But the way Kyle threw the ball, the way he wanted to throw it was he wanted to zip it in there. Mekabuka goes down on his hands and knees, catches it. He would have been about like the 19, 20-yard line. But instead, defensive lineman comes around. I don't know the name of the defensive lineman. He smacks Kyle's arm. He couldn't get enough mustard on the ball, and it just kind of floats out there. The safety's able to make up ground, runs under it, interception. When I saw that play happen, I literally said the same thing that I've been saying all season long in all my game reactions to any of my friends, to anybody that watches Ohio State or is a fan of Ohio State. I tell everybody, you need to be cautious of Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord is going to be the key to winning this game, or just however far we can go. In the first half, it showed. Kyle McCord threw that first interception, and we were just downhill from there. But luckily, late in the second quarter and then the rest of the game, Kyle McCord really showed up. And I legit thought, in this moment, in this drive, when I saw the throw to Marvin Harrison Jr., great throw, great catch. When I saw that throw to Julian Fleming, luckily we got the ball back. I was thinking, holy shit, we could do this. We're at the 41-yard line. We have a shot. But then it's like, oh my God, now we're down around like the 35, 40-yard line. We have a shot. But sadly, it ended up being an interception, and the game was over. Now, real quick, let's kind of go over all the things that I think kind of impacted Ohio State basically losing this game. Number one, I just went over Kyle McCord. The 2 interceptions, that, I mean, you can't really look away from that. I mean, when you think of it in hindsight, you look at that first interception of the game. They intercept it, they go to the 10-yard line. You take those 7 points off the board, it's 24-23 right now. And then that late interception at the end of the game obviously ends up sealing the game and gives Michigan the win. But like I said already a minute ago, I'll say it again. Kyle McCord was going to be the key to winning, basically winning all your riches. If he plays good, you win the game. If he has a dumb moment or he throws a bad interception or fumbles the ball, it's game over. Now, I see a lot of people saying that he needs to just be exiled from the Ohio State University, getting the fuck out of here. I was in that moment there for about 5 or 10 minutes when the game ended. But like I said earlier, now that I had a moment to breathe, kind of calm down, I've had some moment to kind of look at it. And Kyle McCord, I've said it a lot this season, he's a very up and down quarterback. He's very kind of inconsistent, but in the big moments, he shows up. He's shown that he's going to give you about 250 to 300 passing yards. He's going to give you about a touchdown. Sometimes it's very rare this season whenever he plays the bad teams, but when he plays the good teams, he's probably going to give you an interception. I would say if he was off on like a Wisconsin or like an Illinois, or if he was in the SEC, he was on like an Auburn or a Vanderbilt, he'd be a pretty damn good quarterback. But the fact that he's playing for the pristine college, like Ohio State University, He's got all the lights on him, and when the lights shine bright, he didn't deliver. Next up, and this kind of goes into two different ways. The refs were fucking awful in this game. The amount of times where they were calling it a catch and then they had to review it and then they called it a no catch, or there's times for Michigan where they had that one catch, I think in the second quarter or the third quarter, where the receiver had his butt literally sitting on the outside out of bounds line. He caught the ball and they ran down. Two refs were like, yep, that's a catch. Luckily, Ryan Day had to scream in every single cuss word in the book at the referees to say, that is not a catch. They reviewed it, not a catch. And then later on in the second quarter, that's the second point that I need to get into. Denzel Burke should have had an interception, because if he makes that interception, it automatically goes from 14-3 to 3-7 still. Ohio State, they got the ball, and they could have went down when they made that big long drive running the ball. They would have been able to go down and make it to be 10-7. And on that play, it was so bullshit. Like, the way how the receiver had the ball, and don't get me wrong, great ass throw from JJ McCarthy. But when the receiver caught the ball, he was kind of running. Denzel Burke smacks the ball. He has like a one step, and then he went for the two step. So it can be a catch, but that ball is then bobbling and moving around in his hands. Usually I thought you have to survive the ground, or at least somewhat of get on the ground, holding the ball to be considered to be a touchdown. He didn't have control of the football. The ball is then loose. Denzel Burke reaches his arm in. He's stripping the ball as they're kind of crossing the goal line, meaning the receiver does not have full control of the football. The ball is just kind of floating there. As they're going down to the ground, Denzel Burke rips the ball out and it goes into his arm. And I watched that replay like a dozen times, and I'm still trying to figure out, how is that not an interception? I'm gonna wrap up that point with saying this. Like I said a minute ago, with the big ifs, if that was not a touchdown, it would have been taken away from 24-30. Let's go down 24-23. And then the touchdown earlier where Kyle McCord throws that pick and they easily got the great field position. 24-23, now goes to 24-16. When the Michigan Wolverines had the ball there late in the game and they were going down to try to milk the clock, they would have had to been in more urgency mode, and they would have had to been trying to score a touchdown, 2-point conversion. And then Ohio State, when they were coming down the field, they could have been a little bit more cautious rather than trying to force the ball way down, getting a touchdown. They could have been a little bit more cautious trying to maybe just settle for the field goal. Like I said, a lot of ifs, but if you don't like ifs, fuck off. And for those of you who are going to say, well, who even says we're going to make a field goal? You're right, because our kickers still fucking suck. Jaden Fleming, dude, you need to find a new career. Now here's something I will say. Ryan Day, I don't know if I like the decision of going for the field goal there or settling for it. I would have liked to have seen the offense get up to the line of scrimmage and at least try to hard count them. They didn't even try to do that. If they would at least try to hard count, or like get up there, hard count, see what Michigan is in, and then if like you see their linebackers backing off, fuck it, take a chance, try and run for it. I mean, we talk about Ryan Day, it's like there's times where like he grows a big ass pair of cojones, and then there's other times where his balls are like no bigger than a fucking pebble. And that takes me even to the last point. Ryan Day needs to grow some fucking pairs when it comes to his coaching style. Like there's times where he will grow a pair and he is just like the most dangerous man alive, and there's other times where he is like a little 4-year-old girl calling the plays. I'm gonna kind of end it off with this. Things that need to change going into this offseason. Defense needs to get better in the upfront. That defensive line, I think they played great this season. It's just we saw right there in that fourth quarter, they did not show up. Michigan just bullied their way the entire way down the field and went and got into field goal range, kicked a field goal, and only left like a minute left. So I think the defense needs to get better. Kyle McCord, here's what I'll say about Kyle McCord. He's a good quarterback. Like I said, if he was anywhere else, he'd be doing great. He's going to need to go in this offseason. He's going to have to get better. Now, do I think he's going to get better? I do. Here's the next thing that we also have to talk about. Ryan Day. A lot of people have talked about wanting Ryan Day gone. Here's the thing with Ryan Day. People want him gone because he's not beating Michigan. And I understand that. I'm a little bit on that boat. The way I see this offseason going is next year when week 1 comes around, Ryan Day and Kyle McCord are not going to be together. It's either going to be Ryan Day being the head coach and Kyle McCord somewhere else, and maybe Devin Brown starting, or Aaron Nolan, I think the recruit coming in, maybe he could start, or it's going to be Ryan Day is gone and Kyle McCord will still be the starter. My only thing with the people that want Ryan Day gone is I saw the stat recently where it says Ryan Day is 40-0. 40-0 against Big Ten opponents, but he's 1-3 against Michigan. Think of it like this. If he was the head coach of any other school regarding the schools like a Michigan, an Alabama, a Georgia, and maybe like a Penn State right now, because they obviously want to get better. They don't want mediocrity. Any teams like those, any other team besides those, they would happily accept Ryan Day. And that's why here in the recent weeks, there's been rumors kind of spoiling around about if Ryan Day will leave Ohio State. Then here, just literally the day of the game, Ryan Day has been linked to the Texas A&M job of possibly going there. It was said before the game, if Ryan Day and Ohio State win this game, those rumors will be shot dead instantly. But if he were to lose this game, he might accept that call. Because I think the way Ryan Day is looking at this fan base is like, I am doing everything I can and always winning here. The only game I am just struggling with is this Michigan game. Here's the thing, Ryan. That's the only game we fucking care about. And I think Ryan Day is going to be looking at this fan base saying, if you don't love me here, I will gladly go somewhere else. But then I put a tweet out. If you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. Link will be down in the description. But I put a tweet out basically saying, for all the Ohio State fans that want Ryan Day gone, first question, who would you want to be your head coach? And then number two, how would you feel if this head coach comes in and say they beat Michigan next year? But then let's say you also, at the end of the year, are like 8-4, 7-5, not going to a Big Ten title, definitely not going to a college football playoff, and probably going to be playing in some mediocre bowl game. That's a serious question for all the Ohio State fans. If you could bring in any head coach right now, but you were told they will beat Michigan every single year, but you're never going to the playoffs the entire time they're your head coach, would you take that offer? I don't know about you, but I wouldn't. And especially with looking how the playoff system's going in a couple of years, or literally next year. We're going to have 12 teams in the playoffs. People need to calm their tits a little bit. 12 teams in the playoffs. And the way it's going to be going is, I think over the next few years, Ohio State can afford a loss, maybe even 2 losses, and still get in the playoffs. I don't know about y'all, but my emotions are still kind of high. I'm going to wrap it up there. Okay, this is me in post-production when editing. I forgot to add a couple points. Marvin Harrison Jr., he's done in college. He's going to the NFL. Our entire defensive line going to the NFL. A lot of players are going to the NFL, so it's going to be a full revamp going into next season. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Like I said, this game was a wild ride. The fact that I got to wait 365 days until I can watch this game again and pray that Ohio State can beat Michigan again, it's going to be a long fucking year. And I can already hear all the Michigan fans, they're typing on their keyboards, typing their comments in this video, or all Ohio State fans reactions videos right now. Let me hear it. Go ahead. I deserve it. But other than that, that's all I got to discuss for today's video. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure you go ahead and drop a like. It's very much appreciated if you do so. If you watched the entire today's video, thank you very much, and you're an Ohio State fan, and maybe I missed a detail or anything that went on in this game and you want to talk about it, or you want to kind of leave your opinion on kind of how the whole game went, and you want to leave it down in the comment section down below, feel free to do so. If you're an Ohio State fan or just a fan of the content that I am posting here and you want to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so, and do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.